Welcome back to another delicious video about LED technologies. Today we're going to be talking about an ESP8266. You might ask, what is that? Well, an ESP8266 is a microchip controller development board that uses Wi-Fi. There are a few different forms of this ESP devices. We're now going to go talk about them and then see which one works best for you. The cheaper one is the ESP8266 and the newer one, which is the ESP32. The 32 has a dual core LX6 CPU, giving it better performance, and then the single core 32-bit CPU clocked up to 160 megahertz of the ESP8266. Due to its low cost, it makes it amazing for many fun projects such as LEDs. There are a few other devices that I have used in the past for LEDs, such as an Adreno and a Raspberry Pi, which is the more famous one. The Adrenos are awesome but need more work to do setup for LEDs. The costs are pretty cheap as well, but I find for the LED usage you don't get a ton of features. The Raspberry Pis for the LEDs are good as well, but they are very expensive and do get a lot of cool features. The ESPs, I find, have the most robust features and different configurations. That's an amazing cup of coffee. Let's set this ESP8266 up. So as you can see on the ESP development board, we have the 3 volts, the ground, and the TX. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over. Remember those 3 coordinates. We're going to take our pins and we're going to add the G for ground. Then we're going to add the red for power. And the yellow one is going to be the data wire that's going to input all the information to the LEDs. So we're going to put that in the TX, and I'll show you why in a minute. And then here we have all the interface for it. If we go to Wi-Fi, you can see that the Wi-Fi has been put in that we put in earlier on. We don't need to do much aside from that, so we'll go click back. We'll go to LED preferences, and here at the top it'll just give you a rough number, the power supply that it requires, and then just it shows 1 amp is sufficient enough for now until you input all the proper information. Then we'll go down to the LED output, and as you can see we've got our WS281B. And then when we look back at the TX that I had it on, we're just going to reference to the chart. And then the TX is going to be the GOP1, as you can see here. And then the rest of the information here, we're just going to leave it as is. So then we're going to now go to save. And as you now can see, more of the LEDs have illuminated up, but not all of them entirely. So now we have to go and count all the LEDs, and then we're gonna have to go back into the preference, and then we're now this length part, we're now going to go and add the total amount of LEDs that we have. Okay, so now that we've counted all the LEDs up, we have 90 LEDs. And now as you can see, all the LEDs are finally illuminated. We're gonna go click effects. As you can see, there's a whole bunch that you can just play with. This is what I like about this new development board, is that it has all of these features for you to play with LED lights, way more, and then Arduino and Raspberry Pi. That's what I like about it. See just some of the wonderful features that it has. If we go back to the effects, we pick bouncing balls. You can see how those LEDs are just literally bouncing all over the place. We could change the different color to red, and then the bouncy balls are all nice and red. Change it to orange. We'll do pink. So then what I did here was I just got one of these power adapters, put 2 small leads into it, and then when you're ready to finally power this up, and then we're going to be using any one of the 3 volts. So I'll just put this into the 3 volt. And then the ground. So then when we disconnect this here, obviously we're not going to have any power to it, but then we're going to be adding a proper power supply of no more than 5 volts to the ESP development board. There, now that we finally went through everything that needs to be known about the ESP board, you guys can play around with it now, find what kind of features best suit you, play around with it and just have fun. Let me know if you guys have played with one of these before and what the features that you like about it, or some of the sequences that you like about it. Leave a comment down below and tell me which one's your favorite sequence. And I prefer the bouncing balls because it's just bouncing all over, and that's what I like as one of my favorite ones. Well, let me know. Thanks you guys, take care.